Yesterday, I watched a video interview of a maintenance manager. They were asked what they saw as the role of the maintenance manager. Pretty simple question. This person said their job was to know the higher order reliability tools like RCAs, root cause failure analysis, problem solving, and to ensure systems were working. Processes like work control, training, the planning process. That was basically this person's answer. And I contend that that's actually true for a mediocre manager, but painfully wrong for a leader. This is Joe Kuhn of Lean Driven Reliability, bridging the gap between best practices that you know you should be doing and the reality that you live every day in your plant and can't quite figure out how to get there, and get some pointers from old Joe here. So, hey, what do I see as the role of a leader in maintenance? Okay, I got 10 of them. And I'm going to include them in the notes down here, so you don't have to take notes. You could just sit there and listen and contemplate the messages that I got. These are all extremely simple, but there's a big difference between being a leader and being a manager, and a mediocre manager at that. Number one, you know this, no reality. Yes, you need to listen to others. Yes, you need to track KPIs, but those are greatly limiting. Nothing beats chalk circle observation. That means observations in your critical areas, your focus areas of at least 4 hours, and that is woefully on the low side. 4 hours is the absolute minimum. I encourage 8, 16, 48 to know reality and build that into your week. For example, I blocked out on my calendar from 12 to 4 every single Wednesday to do chalk circle observation every single week. I did that as a location manager. So no reality, number one. Number two, vision and focus on a few. One of the core aspects of being a leader is where you're going. 3 to 5 max. I like 3 visions better. Okay? 3 levers you're going to pull to go to the next level of performance. Just 3 actions. Okay? Examples: lube, motor management, PDM, or condition monitoring. Those are 3 things that we're going to say we're going to take our lube compliance on our PMs from 20%. We're going to take that to 100 every single month. We're just going to take that to 100. Motor management, we're going to test our motors as they come in. We're going to make sure that they are being rebuilt to our standards. We're going to test them when they're installed. We're going to create a maintenance plan for every single motor. We're going to have a failure analysis team to look at things like contamination, which is our number one root cause. PDM, we're going to go from 2% to 15%. So those are some specific visions and focus that you can have as a leader in maintenance. Number 3, filter out the 90% noise. This is critical. I don't hear people talking about this. Critical job of the leader is to protect, to be a screen to your workers, the ones that are focused on the critical 3. Be a screen to those things. For example, say corporate comes out and says you need you need to comply to this standard in your storeroom. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Okay, so how are you going to filter your people? Because that's not one of the 3 critical things. That ties us into number 4, getting a C. This is in the this I think translates around the world, but in the United States, and when you go to school or university, you get grades A, B, C, D, or an F. Okay, A means you've mastered it. Getting a C. What's it take to get a C on that storeroom task? It may take, people, they tend to want to do a good job. So it may take 40 hours of work to get an A. It may take 20 to get a B. It may take 3 to get a C. Okay? Get a C. Don't get fired. If you get yelled at for this, don't get fired. But getting a C is a very powerful tool I've used to ensure I was filtering out 90% of the noise. So that's filtering out 90% of the noise is number 3. Number 4 is getting a C. Very powerful tool. I got another video on that. Number 5, coach direct reports. Okay, help them see what you see so they can make more and more decisions in your absence. How do you magnify your influence as a leader? You get 10 people to think and act like you, then they don't have to check with you. Delegate authority to them, like overtime. Say, you can make that decision on overtime. Here's the boundaries. Here's what I'm holding you accountable for. You make that decision. Okay, you make the decision on when outages are going to be. You don't need to come to the maintenance manager on that. You get to decide. So what decisions can you make? How can you develop those people to see what you see? Why did you pick these three? How did these three attack the problem that they may be experiencing this week? Okay, coach your direct reports. Example, I spent 90 minutes every other week with my direct reports on the shop floor. Put it on my calendar. If I had 7 direct reports, that's 7 90-minute meetings every other week. Spread those out so it's not crippling to you, but on the shop floor to help them see what you see and to coach them and develop them. That was number 5. Number 6, knock down barriers to success. Example, we need funding for our PDM training to get, there's a rule at our plant where no external training. Well, okay, let's see how we can get an exception to that to do PDM training because we're trying to get our PDM from 2 to 15%. Say a KPI is tracked by management of PM compliance, and PM compliance is not something you're tracking right now. You're trying to build up lube PM compliance, not overall, but lube PM compliance and motor management and PDM. So some KPIs may suffer a little bit or not show progress. So you're going to run interference with corporate on knocking down those barriers to focusing on that vision. Number 7 is build your team. Folks, the ugly truth of this is some people are going to need to leave. You've got people in your organization that thrived in the management of systems world, and you're looking for leaders, innovators, change agents, and some people are going to leave. One organization I had, and it was over a period of time of maybe 2 years, 90% of the people were new. 90%. That's just reality. Look for people that have been overlooked to promote, people that don't fit the mold. You're looking for a planner with 10 years experience and all blah, blah, blah. One of the best planners I ever had didn't have a third of the experience we were looking for. And because they didn't have that experience, they had to engage the craftsmen more because they needed help. And then that got buy-in into the plan, and he was extremely successful. So look for people that are traditionally overlooked, but have that eye of change and innovation and risk. These people could be very young. You could hire somebody right out of college, say they're mechanical engineering technology, right out of college, hire them as a planner. What an unusual thing to do. But they will have to lean on the craftspeople, but they have great organizational skills, great system skills, great mindset of attacking root cause, great computer skills, can get things done a lot faster than some other folks that are more traditionally fit for a role. Maybe your best mechanic, they would be a great planner, but they lack the computer skills. So think about non-traditional people that don't fit the past standard to build your team with. I love doing that. And people always scratch their head. I love that when I promote somebody from like a metallurgist to a planner or something like that. And they're like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. But then they saw that person emerge as a great leader. So build your team is number 7. Number 8, connect the dots for your team and sponsors. Connect the dots means this action led to this result. So when you set a production record or a quality record, or boy, the equipment wasn't down very much last month. What happened? Somebody's got to come in and connect the dots and says, guys, we started working on motor management 6 months ago. We used to have 2 motor failures a week. Now we have about 1 a month. And then we're focusing on our PMs. We're not our lubes. We folks started focusing on our lubes 3 months ago. We haven't had any lube failures. We've had none. Things like that. And then condition monitoring, we're finding problems earlier. So connect those dots for people, the performance to actions that were taken. Connect the dots. Number 9 is convert failures into learning. This is a critical role of a leader. You got to encourage your people to fail fast to learn fast. Failures are learnings, okay? Maintenance, there's no organization that is more risk averse than maintenance. You know, if you hear no news, that's good news for maintenance. No news. Maintenance likes to be quiet, likes to be behind the scenes. So if they do anything, like say we're going to focus on lube PMs, we're going to do those, even though some other PMs, even at the risk of other PMs not getting done, okay, you're going to make some mistakes. But you're betting on these three actions that we're pushing. So if we make a mistake and a piece of equipment gets neglected and it hurts, stand up publicly as the maintenance leader and say, that's my fault. We're focusing on these three. But folks, we learned something. We learned this is a critical action. This is a critical PM we need to conduct. We've rescoured our PMs and we found a couple more that are critical, that we're concerned about, that we cut out and we deprioritized. Hey, we learned something. We learned fast. I want to congratulate the team for pushing forward on this. And hey, we learned something, okay? Learning is great, okay? Learning is great. There's no failures if you learn, okay? Connect the dots for people on what you're trying to do. And so critical to convert failures into learnings. And that cannot set you back. That cannot set you back and say, we're never going to try that again. Number 10, celebrate and reward. Reward and promote team members team members that are doing a great job for you. This is a very powerful tool. If they're doing a great job for you and a promotion opportunity comes up at another plant or another organization, let them go. You've got to be the leader that says, you bust your butt for me and towards this vision. If a promotion, more money, more opportunity comes to you, I'm going to let you go. You will be that organization that people want to work in because you're developing talent and you let them fly out of the nest for the right opportunities. So I love doing that. Also, have little pizza parties, and we've had steak dinners for certain accomplishments where the leadership team cooked and we passed out steak dinners. Had grills, made a whole day of it, a lot of fun. You get a lot of mileage out of food. We also, had some jackets and t-shirts and things like that we passed out. So think through what's valuable in your organization to reward and celebrate. But inside of this, don't think about, hey, I'm building my team and I want to protect my team and I'm going to protect them, hold them so tight that they can't get promoted to another area, another thing that's great for them. That over time will have a negative impact on your team because, yes, they are getting stronger and more capable and just better leaders themselves, but you got to let them go and then bring on new people. That's part of the bargain, okay? This is leading. These 10 steps that I just went through and described what a maintenance leader does, that is clearly leading, not managing. Leading is progress towards a goal. Very simple. I'm not, don't make this stuff hard. If you don't have a goal and your job is just to kind of hang on, you're not a leader, okay? Managing is existing just to fight another day. It's reactive. It's reactive to you walk in, on Monday and you're just trying to keep the car between the lanes, between the white lines. That's all you're trying to do when you're managing. And one of the biggest problems in maintenance is we have too many managers and not enough leaders. Be better. This is Joe out.